Hey everybody, David here, and today I want to talk about my top 10 movies that I am really looking forward to in the new year. Now that we're finally here, that's right, it's 2019. Happy New Year to all of you. This is a great start off to a whole new year of talking about movies. Crazy enough, I think I've almost been doing this for now 4 years. This April will be 4 years since I've been doing these videos. Crazy how time flies, man. So let's get right into this. First, I want to talk about some of my honorable mentions. Movies that didn't make my top 10, but I really wanted to put it up there, but because they're not, I'm just going to mention them. So some of the movies that I had in my honorable mentions was Glass from M. Night Shyamalan. I'm really looking forward to it. Unfortunately, didn't make the cut. Shazam. The Lego Movie 2, the second part. Really loved the first Lego movie, so had to put that one up there. Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Looks like they're going to give us more Godzilla. Can't wait for that. The Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie, directed by Todd Phillips, who directed the Hangover films. Hopefully that's going to live up to the hype, especially since it's not connected to the rest of the DC movies. And I didn't have this one on my list for honorable mentions, but I'll mention it anyways. Detective Pikachu. Just because the trailer actually surprised me. I actually thought it looked pretty fun. So who knows? Maybe the movie could suck. But right now I think the movie looks pretty funny, especially with Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool himself, doing the voice of Pikachu. So it should be a fun movie, I hope. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it turns out to be another crappy video game movie. We'll wait and see. So for now, let's talk about my top 10. What's actually my top 10 movies? Starting with number 10, I have John Wick 3, Parabellum. And yes, John Wick, I don't even need a trailer yet. I'm just super excited for this movie. Some of this stuff could change over time as I see more trailers and more photos, and sometimes other movies come up. So these top 10 won't necessarily be the 10 that will be my favorite of the year. Things always change, especially once you see a movie, things change. But John Wick 3 right now, because of the first two films being so awesome, I'm really looking forward to John Wick 3. I think Keanu Reeves is back. You know, he used to be famous because of the Matrix movies. Kind of fell off the radar for me for a long while. Kind of got back up with Constantine. I actually thought the Constantine movie with him wasn't bad. But then, yeah, after that he kind of fell off. And now John Wick, he's back kicking ass. And we love him in this role. And I can't wait to see, especially where the second John Wick film left off. I can't wait to see where they take the franchise from here. You know, he's riding on a horse in this movie. I don't know what's going to happen. He's going to kick ass while riding on a horse. I don't know. I can't wait for it. Number 9 is Toy Story 4. That's right, the fourth Toy Story movie coming out this year. This is Pixar's next movie. I love Pixar. It's my favorite animated studio for a very long time. Disney and Pixar kind of blend together once in a while nowadays. But there was a long while where Disney was going down and Pixar was the only studio making the best animated films. Toy Story 4 is one, of course, a lot of people are really excited about it, but just like myself, we're a little not too sure about it because Toy Story 3 was such a perfect ending to that trilogy that do we need a fourth film? But someone made a really good point on another video I was watching when they were talking about their most anticipated. Every time they did a new Toy Story, that was always our thoughts going into it. When Toy Story 2 came out, people were like, do we need Toy Story 2? Because Toy Story 1 was so great. And then Toy Story 2 was just as great as the original. Toy Story 3, same thing. Do we need another Toy Story movie? Toy Story 1 and 2 were so good. Why do you want to ruin it now? And then Toy Story 3, in my opinion, the best Pixar film of all time. That movie gets me all the time. I start crying like a little baby by the end of that movie. It's such a great movie with such great themes about adulthood, moving on from your childhood and growing up and being an adult. I thought there was some great metaphors and and themes there that really pull at the heartstrings. And then, so where do they go from there? Well, apparently they're doing a love story now. And according to one of the producers of the movie, this one's going to pull at the heartstrings once again. So, you know what? Let's stop doubting Pixar. The only movies that people seem to really be on board with hating on is Cars 2 or the Cars franchise. I think the Cars franchise is okay. I don't think it's as bad as some people make them out to be, especially the first one. Come on, the first Cars movie is a good movie. The second one, I'll give it to people, even though I think it's okay. The third one, it's okay. But the Toy Story movies, everybody can agree, is some of Pixar's best. And yeah, of course, I'm looking forward to revisiting these characters. I'm just a little worried that the ending won't be as good as the last one. And maybe they'll prove me wrong. So looking forward to this one either way. Number 8 on my list, I have Aladdin. Aladdin is one of my all-time favorite animated films. It's literally my second favorite animated film of all time. And so this remake I am looking forward to, but it is lower on my list because if you've seen those pictures of the genie recently with Will Smith, it does have me a little worried. I'm going to admit that. This was higher on my list at one point, but it went lower ever since those pictures. Right now, though, I'm not losing all hope. Right, I still have hope for this movie. I just need a trailer to convince me that Will Smith is going to be amazing as the genie. He's going to be very different from Robin Williams, and I'm expecting him to be different. And that's what I want him to be. I want him to be different from Robin Williams because there is only one Robin Williams. There's going to be a generation of kids who never grew up with Robin Williams, and it's kind of sad knowing that. And he was the weight of that original Aladdin film. His voicing chops, his voice acting was one of the highlights because Robin Williams would ad-lib so much in that original Aladdin film that you had to understand a lot of the pop culture that was during that time as well. So maybe the movie's a little outdated now, I don't know. But for me, that was one of the things that really made it work. And obviously Will Smith can't duplicate that, but he can put his own spin on it, and I'm hoping he will knock it out of the park. I'm really hoping for it, or else it's not going to look good for him at the end. So number 7, I have Men in Black International. I'm going to admit this movie was not on my top 10 before the trailer dropped, but once the trailer dropped, I really liked that trailer. That Men in Black trailer, man. And I like the original Men in Black a lot. I think the original one is still the best one. I didn't hate Men in Black 3 as much as other people did. I actually thought that one was okay. The ending always gets to me, though. Gets those tears dropping. Men in Black 2 was the worst one of the bunch. But I am hoping that this movie is going to add some new blood and some new flavor to the Men in Black franchise. I think some new energy that was missing from the last one, or the last two, I guess. Even though I thought Josh Brolin did a terrific job at imitating Tommy Lee Jones in Men in Black 3, I think Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth reuniting from Thor Ragnarok, I think it's going to be great to see them as the two new leads. Plus, you throw Liam Neeson in there. I love Liam Neeson. I think he's a great actor. And to have him in there, I guess as the Zed type character, we'll see, is going to be really fun and exciting. So looking forward to Men in Black International. Now at my number 6, I have SpiderMan Far From Home. Tom Holland returns. You get Nick Fury in there, Samuel Jackson playing Nick Fury again. You got Maria Hill, so somehow S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to be tied into this. Jake Gyllenhaal is playing Mysterio. I've been wanting to see Mysterio in live action for a while, so this is going to be cool. And Happy Hogan is still there. What connections is he going to have to Tony Stark still? We don't know, because we don't even know what the hell is going to happen to Tony Stark in the next Avengers movie. So there's a lot of questions unanswered. I hope a lot of people are still excited about the Spider-Man franchise. I am, because Tom Holland kicks ass as Spider-Man. and it's gonna be cool to see the first movie after the Avengers. This is gonna be the first movie that takes place after Avengers 4. So can't wait to see what the start of Phase 4 is going to be like. So moving on to my fifth most anticipated movie, I got, believe it or not, Dumbo. Dumbo is my fifth. If you were to tell me last year that Dumbo was going to be one of your most anticipated movies, I would think you are drunk. But I'm telling you, these trailers pull at the heartstrings. These trailers are so gorgeous. I didn't think I'd be this excited about a Tim Burton movie in a long time. You got Colin Farrell in there. You got Michael Keaton and Danny DeVito reuniting with their director from Batman Returns back in 1992, Tim Burton. This is a great looking trailer. This movie could suck. You know, Tim Burton hasn't always been the best. He's had his hits and he's had his misses. I think the last really good Tim Burton movie I really liked a lot was Big Fish back in 2003. Frankenweenie was actually pretty good too. That was that stop motion animated film. But Dumbo, I'm actually super excited about Dumbo, and it looks like it's gonna make people a mess. Get ready to bring tissues to this one, everybody, because I think we're gonna need it. Moving on to number 4, I have Captain Marvel. This is Marvel's first movie coming out this year, later in March. I can't wait for it because the Skrulls are going to be there. We're going to see a young Nick Fury, still played by Samuel Jackson. They're just going to use that de-age technology on him. Agent Coulson is going to be back in this one, played by Clark Gregg again. If you don't know, the character of Agent Coulson died in the first Avengers movie. But because this movie is going to be set in the 90s, Coulson is still around during that time, so we're going to get him back. Although if you've been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you know that Coulson has been around, but the movies don't acknowledge the TV stuff. So if you don't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., then in your eyes, Coulson is still dead. And then you got Ronan from Guardians of the Galaxy. That's right, the villain from Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be back in this one. Plus a whole bunch of new characters. Brie Larson as Captain Marvel looks like she's going to kick a lot of ass. So I can't wait to see how this movie factors into Avengers 4 as well, because this is the movie that takes place before Avengers 4. SpiderMan takes place after. How does this movie set up Avengers 4, especially since we know that Nick Fury sent out a signal to space to call for her help when everybody was being wiped out at the end of Avengers Infinity War. So it's going to be crazy, but I can't wait to see how powerful this character is and why she's going to be needed to help stop Thanos. So moving on to number 3, I have Star Wars Episode 9. This is the ending to the newer Star Wars trilogy, and of course I'm looking forward to it. Just not my most anticipated because I have 2 other movies, and I am looking for... Look, I am someone that really enjoyed The Force Awakens. I think I liked The Last Jedi a lot more than most people did because The Last Jedi was really divisive towards fans. There's fans that love it, and then there's fans that hate it, and then there's fans in the middle. But this caused a huge division that now the Star Wars fandom seems really toxic, because if you tell people you like the movie, there's people that attack you for it. And it's kind of, and now people are like attacking the actors that are in the movie. It's like terrible. Like, what? Guys, these are just movies for entertainment. If you don't like it, you don't have to like it. But don't stop people from enjoying it and having a good time with it as well, you know? People are allowed to like the movies they are allowed to like. That's the great thing about movies, is we all have a different opinion on it. If you don't like it, you're not forced to watch it. But don't stop the people from enjoying it. And for that, because I really enjoyed The Last Jedi, I can't wait for Episode 9 to see where they take it. Am I hoping for a little bit more nostalgia than the last 2 have given us? Of course I am, but I'm still really excited no matter what they give us. So, and I want to see how they wrap up this trilogy. So, hoping for the best, hoping for less divisiveness with this one. Hopefully this will be the one, especially since J.J. Abrams is coming back to the direct. I'm hoping this will be the one to bring the Star Wars fans back together, make peace, amends, all that stuff. This world already has enough division as it is. Let's have a little bit more peaceful talks, guys. Peaceful. Moving on to my number 2, I have The Lion King. The Lion King is my number 1 animated movie of all time. That's right. Literally my top 3 are having sequels or remakes this year. The original Lion King is my number 1. Aladdin is my number 2. And Toy Story 3 is my 3rd favorite animated films of all time. So the fact that 2 of them are getting reboots and 1 is getting a sequel, this is going to be a good year for me for Disney and Pixar. Of course, this trailer dropped. They didn't have to show much. All they showed us was a recreation of the Circle of Life, and that the animals look more realistic this time around instead of 2D animation. I'm looking forward to it. Jon Favreau directed this movie, who directed the Jungle Book remake, which was a great film, very beautiful, and the animal designs look just as realistic in that movie as they are going to in this movie. So I can't wait. This is not going to be a shot-for-shot remake. If you watch the Jungle Book, you know there were a lot of changes made. As a matter of fact, I think the Jungle Book remake was even better than the animated version, which doesn't actually hold up today. The Lion King animated film does hold up today. Now, some people are saying, is this Lion King movie actually should be considered live action? Look, I don't care. I'm calling it live action just to separate it from the animated version, so that way you know what I'm talking about. Yes, it's not live action, it's CGI, but I'm going to call it live action because it looks live action. That's the whole point of calling it live action. So, moving on to my number 1 favorite movie coming out in 2019 this year, Avengers Infinity War. That's right, I meant Endgame. Avengers Endgame. Infinity War came out last year, but obviously I loved Infinity War so much. It's my new favorite movie. That Endgame, the expectations right now are so high. I don't know how they're going to end it. I don't even know what to think. Like, how are they going to bring back certain characters? Because we know SpiderMan has a movie coming out this year also. So how are you going to bring him back? Which characters are going to be the ones that are going to stay dead? I have a theory on that, which when we get closer to the movie, I'll make my predictions on Avengers Endgame. But how are they going to close the door on certain characters? Because we know this is the end for some characters. Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, a lot of the original characters who started off this Marvel Cinematic Universe, how are they going to end their stories? And the ones that are more younger, like Spider-Man and the Guardians of the Galaxy and Black Panther, how are those ones going to continue on and carry on the torch to carry this universe going forward? There's a lot of questions. How is Captain Marvel going to tie into it? So it's going to be a lot of fun when we get to it. And if the experience of seeing this movie is anything like Infinity War, it's going to be another good time at the movies. And you always want to go see these type of movies opening weekend, because that's when the crowd is fired up and ready to have a lot of fun. So with that being said, I hope you guys like this video. Please comment below and tell me, what are your top 10 films coming out this year of 2019? What are the ones you are looking forward to the most? Are some of the movies that I have on my list, are you looking forward to these ones? Or are there others that I left out that I should have had in my list? Comment below. There's no right or wrong answers. These are just opinions, and we should all feel free to express our opinions. Just be polite about it. Don't be a douchebag. And until next time, everybody, like this video, subscribe to my channel. I think I said that. Until next time, take care.